Oh yes, oh my god, yes! Hey everybody, it's Chaymie here, and for the first time in forever, welcome back to another Restyle video! The types of videos that really made my channel for what it is, and then for some reason I stopped doing it for about 3 years. I am not the biggest fan of tinsel doll hair, okay? They're not my favorite thing in the world because, as you can see, they like to stick out a lot and they get messier than actual rooted hair of the doll. So, today I've decided to try to style it and then tame it and see what we can do about it. I've never styled hair with this kind of tinsel before, so it could either go very well or very bad. Okay, we'll find out. Also, the thing with her tinseled hair is that it's actually not even like traditional tinsel that we see in playline dolls. They're actually threads. As you can see, they're like white threads with these golden parts woven into them in zigzag formation. So that's what makes me nervous as well. I don't want the threads to unravel because they have a tendency to do so. I will show you an example. Right here, you see this white bit here? It came that way in the box. These are the threads. They're kind of just like bunched up together, and for some reason they're just like shriveled up. With that said, if you're scared of actually washing this doll's hair because of those threads, I can give you an easy alternative as well. Okay, so I found that these kind of combs, like with these big teeth, and they have like a huge gap in between them, something like these, they work really well on this type of doll hair. Because for brushes, the bristles are like close to each other, so they kind of tend to mess up the hair even more. They kind of pull the tinsel from all of the directions, and they either get pulled out from the scalp or they get snapped in half. So for this easy fix, all you want to do is just comb the hair from the bottom like this and kind of just work your way up to the top. And as you can see, it does put the hair and the tinsel together, and it does give you this nice clean look. So if you don't want to wash the hair, that is another route that you could do. If you're not going to play with the hair too much, especially if this is a limited edition doll, you can just put product in her hair and just put it back in her box or on your display shelf, and all these flyaways and tinsel will stay nicely together. Alright, so that's route 1, but I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to actually wash the hair, so let's move on to the next step. Alright, for this next part, we're going to get ourselves a nice big bowl of warm water, okay? This is not going to be the boiling hot water that we've been doing in our past videos, because one, this doll hair doesn't really need a lot of straightening, and also because of the threads, I don't really want to experiment with super hot water in case all the threads go haywire. So we're going to work our way in sections. I don't want to dip the whole thing because her hair does have a lot of hair rooted onto it, so I want to just work in sections. Again, before we do the final dip, just brush it out a little bit. It's still warm enough, like I can put my finger in and still not hurt myself, but it still has a heat kick to it. Alright, so I'm gonna separate out these two front bangs that are gelled away from the rest of the hair, and I'm gonna dip the rest of the hair first. Alright, once the hair is nicely soaked, we're gonna start combing it while it's wet. Because of the threads, I find that the hair has more trouble soaking the water than normal, just plain hair. It's still not very wet, actually. I'm not gonna dip the entire head, I'm just gonna leave it around like here for the wetness. Alright, now we're gonna dip the front two bits. Alright, after that, final dip for the last side of her hair. Alright, now we're gonna give her hair a nice comb through while it's still wet before we move on with the styling. Alright, now here comes the part where we try to style these gelled parts. The reason that I didn't dip them in the water because I don't want all of the gel to be removed. Actually, I want most of them to be removed, but still a little bit behind enough for me to use it to my advantage and style it. I've learned this with the Ever After High dolls as well. So I've put a bit of the warm water in this little spray bottle so I can just spray it. Okay, once it's wet, the hair will start to come apart from each other and the gel will start to get diluted with the water. So just use your fingers to kind of massage it and break them apart. Spray more water if necessary, because this way the gel will melt away or get diluted while it's still wet, so you can work and style your way around the hair. But once you let the doll hair dry, that gel again will dry again as well. Hence, it will be stuck in the position that you styled. Alright, let's move on to this side. Now this is going to be the important part because this is going to be the bang. Like the other side, I'm just going to spray it and wet it a bit for me to kind of... Can you hear that sound? No, can you? I'm not sure. Like, you can even hear like cracking sounds, like the gel and the glue kind of cracking. Alright, so right now I have brushed and styled the hair in the way that I want it to dry into. So, I'm quite happy with how the bang has turned out for the time being. It still has this banged shape. This is how the hair is looking like on the back. Her hair is much longer now that it's wet. Drags a lot more than while it was still dry for some reason. So there. What we're going to do is we're going to let her air dry overnight, and then we're going to continue on with our final styling once their hair is dried. So I will see you guys in one day. And we're back with Rapunzel. I sounded like Gothel just now when I said her name. But anyways, we're back. Her hair has been all dried, and I've already put her back in her dress so you guys can look at the full effect. And here, basically this is it. Here's the back of the hair. And the best thing is that after washing her hair is straighter now, which makes the hair look longer and it drags more on the floor. So I'm really happy how that turned out. And for the overall look of her hair is now much more softer, silkier, smoother, and straighter. I'm just gonna show you guys how it looks. See that? Oh yes, oh my god, yes. The tinsels, however, still have a mind of their own. They will still get messy. For example, right here, if you do touch it or move around, they will kind of pop out from the rest of the chunks of the hair, so you will need to continuously just comb it every now and then after you've touched her around or after you moved her. Now let's get into the nitty-gritties here. So like I said previously, this part, because we didn't completely wash out the gel, so it's now staying, because once the water is dried, the gel will always retain its shape. So right now it's still gelled, but it's not stuck in a position that I want the hair to be stuck in, so that's much better. And for the bang, I'm really happy with how the bang turned out as well. It still retained its shape, as you can see on the side. It's beautiful. Again, for the bang, the same like the other side, the gel has dried together with the water as well. And for this side, you can also either have it on the back or you can pull it to the front if you want, depending on how you want the look to be. I can't get over how shiny her hair is. It's not even the tinsel, the actual hair is shinier than normal doll hair. It's not just the light. It is really, really shiny, even in person. So I wonder what kind of material that hair is. Is it nylon or saran or I don't know, but it's super soft and I just love this hair so much. Alright, now we're moving on to the final steps of styling, the nitty-gritty details. So as you can see, like I said, the tinsel still has a mind of its own, so they will still tend to separate out from the rest of the hair. Like as you can see right here, the tinsels are not really clumped together with the rest of the hair, so we're going to try to fix that, especially for the face area, because we want the face area to be nice and clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a small kind of paintbrush, and then we also have water. So I'm gonna wet the brush a little bit in the water. And for temporary effects, this is another great tip for you guys, is that when you're, for example, if you're about to take a doll photo and there are like some flyaways or little messy bits, you can just dip the brush in water and then just like gently brush it over on the parts that you want the hair to be tamed down, and it works. But of course that way is temporary, because once the water is dried, the hair will go back to the way it was. But we don't want this to be temporary, we want this to be permanent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of hairspray and spray it on the brush. Okay, I don't want to brush it onto her. So okay. And what I'm going to do is basically just going to be brushing it on to the tiny bits inside there so that we can tame those little bad boys down. And I'm going to be doing the same thing to the top bits here as well, just near her face so we can keep them under control. I used to do this in my older videos as well, but I used my hands. So I would spray the hairspray on my finger and I would just use my finger to brush them on, but I found this way so much easier. And this hairspray smells really nice as well. We're going to do the same for the insides of this side here as well, because I see some unruly tinsels. So that's it! So I'm really happy with how she turned out, and I'm also very relieved that the tinsel didn't turn into a mess, and we got a successful restyle on our hands. This was like a fairly easy restyle, to be honest, because it was in like a disaster fix. The hair wasn't in that such of a bad shape, but we just kind of made it nicer and elevated her look. So yeah, that wraps up my video on the Rapunzel hair restyle and makeover video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my first restyle video on this channel in about like 3 years. It's been so long, but this has been so fun doing doll hair restyling again. It made me remember how much I love playing around with doll hair and making these restyle videos. So I cannot wait to make more when I get the chance. So thank you so much again for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. You can also follow me on Instagram at Chaymie Creates for more toy photography. But right now, I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye! Wait, I want to do that thing where they do in hair commercials, where they flip the hair like this. So are we ready?